Good evening, you're with us on To The Point, and that's the question we pose. Why is absolutely no one happy with the final NRC list? Be it the 19 lakhs in Assam who've been excluded from this list, be it human rights organizations, be it citizens groups in Assam, be it political stakeholders or political parties in Assam or even in India. When we say no one, then it means absolutely no one is happy with the NRC. It also includes one of the biggest supporters of the exercise, the Bharatiya Janata Party. The party had fought not just the general elections in Assam, but also the state elections earlier on the poll plank of Jati, Mati, Bheti, where the BJP promised to safeguard the identity of the Assamese nationality, which is Jati, the land of the state, which is Mati, and the foundation of Assamese nationalism, which is Bheti, which rested on the bulwark of how the Assamese wanted illegal immigrants out of Assam. The will of the BJP to weed out all illegal immigrants, to calling them infiltrators or even termites. However, just days before the list was released, the BJP leaders in Assam seemed skeptic. And once the list was released, there seemingly was a major U-turn by the party, calling the list nothing short but one with full of errors.
ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় নাগৰিক পঞ্জীখন যি ধৰণে আমি আশা কৰিছিলো সেই 100% সেই আশা অনুসৰি আগবাঢ়িব পৰা নাই যেন আমি অনুভৱ কৰোঁ দুৰ্ভাগ্যবশতভাৱে যিখন ড্ৰাফট এনআৰসি ওলালে তাত বাংলাদেশৰ সীমান্ত জিলাসমূহত বাদ পৰা সংখ্যা 6 to 7%, অথচ গুৱাহাটীৰ দৰে কসমপলিটান চহৰত বা কামৰূপ মেট্ৰ আন জাগাবিলাকত হি 18-16%। গতিকে আমি খসৰা প্ৰকাশ হোৱাৰ দিনাৰ পৰাই আমি কৈ আহিছো যে ই এনআৰসিয়ে আমাৰ ৰাইজৰ আশা আকাংক্ষা পূৰণ কৰাত যিমানখিনি সফল হ'ব বুলি আমি ভাবিছিলো সেয়া সফল হ'ব পৰা নাই।
So what caused this U-turn? What caused this rethink when all along we've had one BJP leader after another coming out completely in support of this exercise? The main reason given by political analysts for this sudden change of heart on the NRC by the BJP is that a large part of those excluded in the list are suspected to be those from the majority or the Hindu community, suspected vote bank of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the reason which other political parties are now attacking the BJP.
Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah stand by his comment that when he said that in Assam there are 50 lakh Ghuspaiti. There are 19 lakh, and in 19 lakh we don't know how many are of which religious community.
BJP played politics and insulted close to 21 lakh who are now part of the NRC. So first Amit Shah ji should apologize to these people who he insulted and made them feel uncertain about their own future.
So there are two things we want to say. One, even the 19 lakh that has not made it to this list are not illegals yet. They are not foreigners yet. They are not stateless yet. There is a huge due process which will be conducted. So we are going to put, that. The second point, of course, is out of the 19 lakhs, the breakup has not yet been given by the NRC. How many are Muslims? How many are Hindus? But my colleague Manogya Loiwal went to this one village. There is this one village at the back of the NRC list where out of 3,000 that live in the village, and it's a Hindu-dominated village, and 1,800 have been judged as or have not made it to the list. This is what she found out.
More than 100 kilometers from Assam's capital Dispur, the prayer bells are ringing in the Namghar in Pab Malebari village, just like any other day. But today, the situation is different. The entire village is praying collectively after the shock of their life, which came as a rejection of 80% villagers in the NRC. Like many others, 59-year-old Mamta Kar is upset that besides her family, more than 80% of the villagers have been rejected in the final list.
যেরকম দেখেন আমরা গ্রামবাসী সব দুঃখিত হিসাবে আমরা কিছু পাই না তারপরে দেখেন এই এনআরসিটা যে বারবার আমরা কাগজপত্র যে প্রমাণ চাইতেছে সেই প্রমাণে আমরা দিতে রাজি আর অথচ দিতেও আছি দিলে কি হবে আমরা এখনো এনআরসির বিষয়ে আমরা কোনো উত্তর পাই নাই
But people who were left out from the register feel helpless. 30-year-old Bipul Kar is a daily worker and is extremely worried about his future.
अभी हम लोग दिन हाजिरा करने वाला है यहाँ पे 300 रुपये मिलता है वहाँ पे 400 रुपये मिलता है हम लोग खाएगा ना वो कोर्ट कचहरी में दौड़ेगा
Questions range galore, ranging from mother to father to daughter to son being included in the list, yet others being left out.
আমার আছে এনআরসির নাম আমার বুলার বউয়ের আছে আমার স্বামীর আসে নাই আমার বড় ছেলে মেজো ছেলে ছোট ছেলের আসে নাই কি লিগে আসলো না এটাই তো চাই সরকারের কাছে
Some are fuming over the fact that Hindu Bengalis have been left out, while many Muslims from nearby villages made it to the list.
আমার এখানে সব হিন্দু মানুষ 3000 লোক আছে তথাপিও নাম আসে নাই ওই পারে মুসলিম সব মুসলিম ওইখানে নাম আসছে কিন্তু আমাদের এইখানে আসে নাই 3000 লোক তথাপি কেউরই নাম আসে নাই পাড়াপট্টি সব নাম আসে নাই সব নাম বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে
An annoyed Sanjay Chakrabarti too echoes the same sentiment.
जी हम लोगों का इधर में पूरा का पूरा हिंदू जो फैमिली होता है बंगाली हिंदू उन लोगों का एक भी नाम नहीं आया लेकिन उसमें पास में विलेज का जो मुस्लिम इलाका है उसमें तो पूरा 99% आ गया उन लोगों को अभी क्या करेगा पूरा मतलब कि टेंशन में है
Most of the residents in this village are from East Pakistan, who took shelter during the riots in a neighbouring country. Even present Gram Panchayat employees are wondering why they were put in the rejected list.
कुछ लोगों को कोई डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ये रिफ्यूजी कार्ड देके उन लोगों को नाम एनआरसी फाइनल लिस्ट में एंट्री हो गया है लेकिन हमारा यहाँ का लोगों का एंट्री नहीं हुआ है तो यहाँ का लोग बहुत चिंतित है कि अब क्या होगा हम लोगों का
This is not just the question of rejection but also a dejection that the entire people staying here are facing. Questions being raised on whether it is the NRC fault of the officials or the sharing of documents and of course misusing of legacies. There are several more questions that need to be answered not only by the political bastion holders but also people who are responsible for this. With camera person Tapas Berry and Hemant Kumar Nath, this is Manogya Loiwal in Kamrup, Assam for India Today.
So that ground report which has been filed from a Hindu village and the kind of reactions that you saw prompts us to ask the larger questions this evening. Question 1. Possible exclusion of Hindus caused BJP to make a U-turn on the NRC. The second question. Will BJP bring in the Citizens Amendment Bill now to protect this vote bank? We're going to delve a little bit deeper on that. The third question we asked, what happens to the 19 lakh excluded from the final list? The government has made it very clear they're not illegals yet, they're not foreigners yet, they're not stateless yet. But where are they? What is their status? Let's quickly cut across to our guest this evening, Kaushik Deka, Senior Associate Editor, India Today, someone who's extremely well versed with what Assam is going through in terms of the final list of the NRC. He's joining us from Guwahati. I have Monojit Mondal, political analyst, Sambit Patra, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, Nani Gopal Mahanto, Professor, Guwahati University. Before I go to our political guests, Kaushik, I'll come to you and just break it down for us on what are you witnessing. You've been in Guwahati. It seems absolutely no one wants anything to do with the NRC, including the current government.
Yeah, that's right, because the objective of NRC was to detect illegal immigrants in Assam. And certainly, if you go by everyone's version, that objective hasn't been fulfilled. Now, there are multiple reasons behind it, but what I think is of extreme importance is the way NRC was prepared. And nobody pointed towards that earlier. Now everybody is making a point. NRC, the way it should have been prepared is by house-to-house counting, which didn't happen because if you go by the Constitution of India, NRC should be done like that. But it was based on, the current NRC was based on Assam Accord, which is not even constitutionally valid. And the base year was done 1971. That means, unlike the rest of India where foreigners are detected, whosoever came to India illegally after 1948, instead of that, here the base year was 1971. So that was the reason a large number of people definitely got into the system. Second, there is a very organized structure in Assam and perhaps in West Bengal also, where there is a government back, administrative back system. It's an illegal nexus where it's quite easy to get legal documents to prove your citizenship. Now, anybody who is illegal, what they do mostly after coming into India, they would prepare their documents. So in many cases, like the village you have shown, the Hindu Bengali village, there are some tribal villages also who were the original inhabitants of Assam or northeast of India. They couldn't make it to the NRC because they are not that careful, and it happens with the rest of the country also. You are not very careful about maintaining your documents dating back to your grandparents. So in that case, but the illegal immigrants have always been very careful because they are always suspect. So they would bribe the officers, do several other things to get their paperwork ready. And that's why everybody is crying foul that so many suspected illegal immigrants have got into the system. So that's where the basic problem is. In Assam, people could live illegally. The Bangladeshi immigrants could easily live in Assam because the documentation process was so easy. And the NRC was prepared based on that same documentation process. So this is bizarre. And nobody raised this when the NRC was being prepared. It was being prepared for last 4 years. It's not that on 31st August, suddenly it came to being.
All right, Kaushik.
So that's where the problem lies.
Okay. So Kaushik, thank you for breaking it up in terms of the administrative way of this final list and the possible fallout of that. I'd like to bring in our other guests. I believe we do have Mr. Sambit Patra now. Mr. Patra, let's talk about the political fallout of it. We've had so many reactions from the Bharatiya Janata Party lauding the NRC. Now this sudden U-turn. Political critics would have us believe it is because possibly a large majority of the 19 lakh are Hindus that have been excluded.
No, first and foremost, let me do away with this myth that majority of the 19 lakhs are Hindus. Up till now, I believe, as far as the 19 lakhs is concerned, we have not done the dissection of it. We have not gone into the names of it, and no one knows as to exactly how many Hindus are there and how many are Muslims. So to say that majority are Hindus is just a bunkum talk. It's a myth which we have to do away with. Secondly, as far as BJP's U-turn on NRC is concerned, no, we have not done a U-turn on NRC. We have certain issues which Mr. Himanta Biswam Sarma the other day had rightly, in fact, aired in your channel. But the issue is, as far as NRC is concerned, NRC was a need. It was a need to identify the illegal immigrants. It was a need as far as the Assam Accord signed by Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India, was concerned. And since 1985 till about 2015, despite the fact that there were petitions in the Supreme Court wanted the NRC to start. There was some kind of ground experiments also on that. But because of policy of appeasement of the former government, this could never take off. Thankfully, the Bharatiya Janata Party government, under the supervision of Supreme Court, in fact, the NRC was being looked after by the Supreme Court. It was under the supervision of Supreme Court. The Bharatiya Janata Party at least could uphold what was to be upheld by any legal government in this country. As far as what has turned out in NRC is concerned, it was not just Mr. Amit Shah who was giving out a number as to how many illegal immigrants are concerned. Look at the numbers given by Hiteshwar Saikia, who was not from our party. Hiteshwar Saikia, way back in 90s, was stating that there were more than 30 lakh illegal immigrants in Assam. In fact, Indrajit Gupta during H.D. Devegowda was putting this figure somewhere around 40 to 50 lakhs. And as recently as 2004, we had Sri Prakash Jaiswal on the floor of Rajya Sabha, Indian Parliament, said that 57 lakhs are the illegal immigrants. So it's but natural that these figures had come authentically and from the floor of the Parliament of India. We all know, all of us who are debating over here, know that this number is somewhere around 40, 50, 60 lakh. But well, there is some flaw in the system. What is the flaw is what we are discussing today. What is the flaw? Is it possible, as rightly pointed out by someone over here, my previous speaker over here, he was extremely right, that while some were very careless, because there were certain documents, for instance, the refugees who had come in 1971 or before, they could not keep their certificates. Their certificates were not shown. Their 5 documents, in fact, were not accepted by the present dispensation of the NRC coordination.
All right, Sambit, tell me one thing. Before I bring in, I'm going to bring in Monojit Mondal, but tell me one thing. Fine, okay, so this is an exercise by the Supreme Court. The BJP was following that. Let's forget about, how it possibly made a U-turn. Let's say that never happened. But let's talk about what the BJP had intended to do and possibly will intend to do. what are the chances of the BJP coming up with the Citizens Amendment Bill in the winter session? Because if that comes in, then somewhere down the line, it seems you're going to be looking to offset the results of the NRC.
See, as far as the Citizenship Amendment Bill is concerned, whether it comes up in the next session or not is something which I cannot preempt, because parliamentary affairs is not looked after me. It is only for the ones who are parliamentarians and the managers of the parliamentary affairs of the party. They would be able to say so. But as far as recourse in NRC is concerned, that has already been articulated by members of our party. For instance, Himanta Biswam Sarma gave out 3 recourse. Number 1 recourse was we will approach the Supreme Court. Both the state and the centre will approach the Supreme Court for re-verification of 20% in the border areas and 10% in the hinterland of Assam. Similarly, we will also, there are a number of complaints pending with the border state police. So the state police can also look into these pending complaints. And number 3, of course, we will have the census. I mean, the Indian census, in which there would be a door-to-door visit. So we can always revisit the NRC during the census, which is to come in 2021. So these are the 3 broad recourses that our party also has as of now.
All right, Monojit Mondal, Sambit Patra saying that it has absolutely nothing to do with possibly the demography of this 19 lakh that has been left out of the list even now, and we want to say there is no breakup that has been given by the NRC on religious grounds, and the party's made no no U-turns. It followed what the Supreme Court said and now has found certain issues with it. Do you agree? Monojit, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be having an audio link problem with Monojit Mondal. We're going to go across to him in a bit, but let me get in our other spokesperson, Nani Gopal Mohanta, Professor, Guwahati University. Mr. Mohanta, you've seen how, things have fallen in terms of the NRC. I remember talking to you just before the elections, and you said that, how it doesn't look that it's going to fall out in the pattern possibly in which the government wants it to, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah. Actually, as you have very correctly said, the NRC list of 19 lakh could possibly satisfy nobody. But the matter of the fact is that today we need verification. So it could satisfy the Assamese, it couldn't satisfy the Assamese people. Now we want 4 kinds of verification. Number 1, the way it was published that the 20%, 27% verification was done. I think there was no publication for that verification. And secondly, the Panchayat data, it was suggested that Panchayat data will be used as the link data, but there was no verification of the Panchayat data. And thirdly, the legacy data was not biometric based. So that's why, as you know, the Muslims people use similar titles like Ali, Hussein, Barbara, and so on and so forth. That's why the major argument is that the legacy data has been manipulated. So on this account, many people argue the number, which is about 40 to 50 lakh, which was already projected in Indian Parliament, so that we couldn't achieve that. And besides, even Indian judiciary system, Supreme Court, had dubbed the illegal migration process in Assam as external aggression. And that is the perceptive dimension. Apart from that, the empirical dimension is such that today, the Muslim people have increased from 2 districts to 11 districts. In addition to that, in 7 districts, border districts of Assam, the increase of Muslim...
but Mr. Mohanta, and I'll bring in Monojit Mondal as well, because I would reckon the genesis of the NRC was never a Hindu or a Muslim issue. It was more of an illegal immigrant issue. And somewhere down the line, I think the lines are getting blurred in this conversation when we've made it a Hindu-Muslim issue. And possibly one of those reasons, Monojit Mondal, has been the government wanting to bring something extremely controversial like the Citizens Amendment Bill.
The issue of NRC was basically triggered first by the Assam Accord. That was the turning point. And the result of what was the result of Assam Accord? It was because of the drive against the Bengalis in Assam. That was as simple as that. We understand what was happening in the late 1970s and in the early 80s, leading to the Assam Accord of 1984. And thereafter, this whole business of NRC started in Assam. And this movement, as you know, that as we all understand, it had only one single orientation, that just to drive the Bengalis out of Assam. And it so happens that, of course, there are illegal migrants. It so happens that almost all the illegal migrants are from Bangladesh, and they're all Bengali-speaking people. So in the process, the whole thing was so confused that now it is becoming difficult to, in a sense, purge of the real Indians from actually the illegal migrants. And the victim of this process of purging off, or I would call purification, are actually the real Indians, and largely 90% of them are Bengali-speaking Indians. That's the fact that you cannot deny.
But now that's the fact, and Sambit Patra, I'll bring you in on this, because that's what I touched upon earlier.
Yes,
what possibly Monojit Mondal is saying, and let's go back on how it all started. The language of, let me quote Mr. Ram Madhav, where he says, detect, delete, deport. That language has clearly softened. It's a different stand now. But let's just say to bring in something like, say, the Citizens Amendment Bill. What is that for? Because it completely contradicts the NRC. That is entirely on the lines of Hindu and Muslims, which the NRC never stood for, which Assam never wanted. Mr. Patra.
See, Preeti, first and foremost, I would beg to say that there's nothing called as Hindu and Muslim in this debate. We have Indians versus non-Indians, the infiltrators versus the original Assami.
But then how does that, Sambit, how does that defend the Citizens Amendment Bill?
I'm not talking about the Citizens Amendment Bill. We are talking, as far as Citizens Amendment Bill is concerned, I'll come to that in a while. First, let me answer the questions on NRC.
Okay.
As far as NRC is concerned, the intention was right. The intention of Bharatiya Janata Party, which it has articulated right from the very beginning, is that we have to segregate the infiltrators from the original Indians in this country, so that the resources resources go to the people of this country, resources are given to the citizens of this country, and in Assam the ethnic cleansing of their own original people should not take place. Approximately 1,000 Assami people were martyred during 1979 to 85 in what we see as a agitation of the real people in Assam, the original people of Assam, against infiltration. And Assam Accord was a fallout of that, it was a result of that. And in fact, as rightly pointed out, the Supreme Court also meted no words to say that this is equivalent to external aggression, this kind of infiltration. And the Supreme Court also pointed out the kind of population explosion that we see in the border districts of Assam is something that the government has to control. The government is taking that line. The government is doing as the Supreme Court has wished. What we have issues is with the process probably. For instance,
I understand.
We believe that there were
what explains the Citizens Amendment Bill then? Because you're contradicting exactly what you're saying.
Absolutely.
See, as far the NRC should not be mixed with the Citizenship Amendment Bill. They are two different things altogether. As far as NRC is concerned, it is localized to Assam.
But Sambit, many are saying they are connected because this list has come out. It possibly has equal, let's say it has equal number of Hindu and Muslims, and you will offset it by bringing in the Citizens Amendment Bill, which will protect the Hindus, but the Muslims will still continue to be in a state of limbo, not knowing where they need to go.
Absolutely. Very good.
I would respect you very. Mr. Absolutely, will you please allow me to complete?
Yes, Sambit, please make your point.
As far as we have again gone the same way, where we segregate the Indians as Hindus and Muslims. Why do we talk about Hindus and Muslims over here? We have Bangladeshis and Indians. If Indians have in some way found their way to the exclusion list, there is a duty of the government to see to it that the ones who satisfy the norm to be finding their way to NRC would be the one who should be declared as citizens. 24th May 1971 was the cutoff line.
All right.
The midnight of 24th
Sambit,
May 1971.
I need to close the show. I'm sorry. I'm really running out of time, and this is a show which needs to continue for a while. Because we need to debate this, because ultimately, what are we talking about? Okay, we've got the NRC, it's contentious, yes. We need to sort it out, yes. But what are we looking at? Possibly the Citizens Amendment Bill later on in the winter session. That's an entirely different matter. We're going to keep talking about this on To The Point on the next few days. Do stay with us. News and updates continue.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.